Hello there. It's been 3 years this month since our BMW i3 arrived. So this is a bog standard 2021 i3 120 amp hours with no options. So standard grey fabric interior and no fancy options. And I still find it hard to believe that this interior design is over 10 years old. The i3 replaced our previous small car, which was a Citroen C3 1.2 with a 3-cylinder and no turbo. So the i3's got over twice as much power, twice as much torque, and cost twice as much. Its main job is a commuter vehicle to get in from Pennycook, which is just outside Edinburgh, down into Edinburgh, round the city bypass, and into town a little bit. And it's been absolutely outstanding at this job. So it's currently covered just about 24,000 miles in the 3 years we've had it. It was serviced last year because it gets serviced every 2 years according to the schedule. And this year we did have to get new tyres fitted to it. So it was booked in for its MOT in April and we got the Bridgestones replaced like for like. It passed with no problems, with one advisory on the test saying the under trays are fitted, which will be correct. I mean, it's completely flat underneath. It's hard to tell in Scotland sometimes due to the weather, but the paintwork's held up really well. Still nice and shiny. A couple of tiny little scratches from the car parks here and there, but it, on the whole, it stood up really well to 3 years of use. We did buy custom seat covers to protect the seats. I think they're a bit much, but my wife loves them. We do often have the back seat set in the more vertical position to give a bit more boot space for shopping, etc., because we don't regularly have people in the back. In terms of space, people seem to think that the i3's a really small car, but it's not actually that small. So, to demonstrate this, I am 6'5" and quite a lot of kilograms, and I've got more than enough leg room with the seat fully back. And if I dunk that right forward, so I'm still not touching the dashboard there, still got plenty of space, got plenty of headroom, not scraping the ceiling there. How much space does it have in the back? I'll just put the seat back to its normal position in the back, and we'll have to cut because I did have to move the driver's seat out of the way. Now this is not elegant, I'll tell you that now. So this is me, 6'5", getting into the back of the i3. As you can see, I fit. Now, my head is on the ceiling. My knees are slightly either side of the seat, but that seat's set for someone my size. If your passengers were less generously proportioned than me, then you can get 4 adults in here, no problem. There are only 2 seatbelts in the back though. Now, as I said before, this was serviced and checked last year and the MOT was done this year, so nothing to do now maintenance wise for another year. It does have a great tyre pressure monitoring system, better than the one in my Q4. It does actually tell you the pressures, but you have to be driving for it to work. Diving into the instrument cluster then, you can press a little button on the side to cycle through different things when it's running. And the service interval pops up on there when you switch it off and on. As you change to the drive modes, the gasometer will change the mileage that it's estimating for your range. We still regularly get 180 miles out of a full charge. Now, there is a secret menu which you can access by pressing and holding the button. So it lets you do a reset on the date on there. But if you keep pressing and holding, it then gives you some more options. Now, I don't know what all these do. Identification does give you the VIN. System test checks all the warning lights and the hazards and stuff. Very pretty. And then if you press that again, you accidentally do the system test again. Press and hold to go back. There's a roller mode which switches off all the traction control systems. I've not played about with that one. You can initialize the gasometer and the range calculations so that unless you're driving again, render test, or there's an unlock button. Now, the unlock button, you have to enter a code to unlock it, and the code is the sum of the last 5 digits of your VIN. So use the button to enter that. I'm not going to show you that, it's a bit boring. But once you're in, you've then got this new menu for fuel tank and battery. For temperature, BC, which I'm not sure it is, and correction factor. So if we're going to fuel tank and battery, first of all, it tells me how much fuel's in the tank, which is none in either tank, because it doesn't have a fuel tank. 0 litres left, 0 litres right. Unsurprising. It's displaying 0 fuel because there's no fuel. Interestingly, it's shown the calculated battery capacity maximum, and that's the net capacity, the usable capacity, as 38.2 kilowatt hours. It was meant to be 37.9 when new. Now at the moment, it's 88% state of charge and 33.4 kilowatt hours. When you multiply that out, that would give you 37.9 usable. So it does look like there's not any battery degradation. This car rarely gets rapid charged. It's mostly done on destination chargers, so it has had quite a gentle life charging wise. They also check on temperatures in there. I'm not sure where it's getting 118 for the coolant temperature when it's only driven half a mile, but there we go. That's more like it. Battery temperature 12 degrees, just about the same as ambient temperature. I'm not going to play with the correction factor, but you can use that to adjust if you feel that the mileage is slightly out. So after almost 24,000 miles, still really enjoying the car. It's perfect for what we're using it for, mostly for commuting, but it can handle doing country driving as well, and it is properly nippy. Like 170 horsepower in a car this small and light is plenty. Now the battery capacity thing, I know that menu's not 100% accurate, so the calculated capacity is just a guess, but that would suggest there's minimal degradation on this battery. And if that is the case, that's pretty good going after 3 years and 24,000 miles. As is always the case with electric cars, the range does drop significantly in the winter if you're preheating the interior and if you have the heating on all the time. But even at that, we're still getting 140 to 150 miles of range, even in the coldest winter temperatures that we get in Scotland. We've got 1 year left on our contract with the i3, and we're now starting to think about what we would like to have next. Ideally, another i3 would be great, but that's not going to happen. So we've been looking at other BMWs, and it'd be fair to say they've gone a totally different direction. I think the i3 was probably a bit ahead of its time, and BMW got stung by the costs of making everything out of carbon fibre and it being completely unconventional. It seems as if the stuff that made the i3 cool is the stuff that BMW has abandoned. So we'll probably have to look elsewhere. Right, that's all I've got for you in this video. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.